Hello, my sparklings. Yes, I am finally back, and I am here to talk about Transformers 1. Yes, the brand new movie that is premiering officially next week, but there are some early screenings that are happening this weekend, and I actually saw it much earlier as I got to go to a special media screening just for the fans and, some industry people several weeks ago. Funnily enough, this was actually the same weekend as Fan Expo, and it was literally right downtown from the whole Fan Expo convention center. So it was very easy for me to get to, and let me tell you, it was amazing. Transformers 1, and by the way, this is going to be spoiler-free. This is a spoiler-free video review. I will do a spoilerific video later on, probably this weekend, after I go see it again at, one of the early screenings that's happening this weekend. But I was blown away by this movie. I know this might be heresy to say, but I think this is probably the best Transformers movie we have ever gotten.
No. It's not true. That's impossible!
Yes, this is better than Bumblebee. This is better than the 2007 movie. This is even better than the G1 movie. I caution to say that, but I feel like this is better than the G1 movie. And I'll say why. The G1 movie is not a standalone movie. It is a movie that is part of a cartoon. And if you hadn't seen any of the cartoon leading up to the movie, you are going to be a bit lost. You're not going to care much about Optimus Prime or Megatron or any of the season 1, season 2 characters. They are basically cannon fodder in that movie. Let's be honest. You are going to connect more to Rodimus, RC, Ultra Magnus, Blur, the new crop of characters. And honestly, that was somewhat my experience as well. I was a Beast Wars fan. I grew up with Beast Wars. I had seen the odd episode of G2 when I was really, really young, but I mostly grew up with Beast Wars. And after Beast Wars, and I think kind of before Beast Machines started, or it might have been just after Beast Machines, I got into, let's say it, the pirate life of, maybe downloading some videos and stuff. And the first real exposure I had to Generation 1 was Transformers the movie. So I knew a little bit about, Optimus Prime and them through Beast Wars, but honestly, I didn't really have that connection to Optimus Prime that a lot of 80s kids had who grew up watching, the 84, 85 series of the cartoon and had that deep connection to those characters. So that's my reasoning. If you are fresh to Transformers, like my roommate is, if I made her sit down and watch the G1 movie, yes, the animation is phenomenal and the music is awesome, but I feel like it's not a complete story. It's not a great introduction to Transformers, if that makes sense. And yeah, the 2007 movie, it's a good introduction to Transformers, at least that version of Transformers, but I don't feel like the movies, especially the Michael Bay movies, are I don't know what you'd say, the default version of Transformers. It's not like the generic, Coca-Cola classic of Transformers. It's more like the Pepsi Max of Transformers. It's the spiced Coke of Transformers. It's the 7-Up of Transformers. I don't know. I'm just making weird metaphors here, but hopefully you get my meaning. It's it's a version of Transformers, but I feel it deviates so much from what we're mostly used to that it's not a solid introduction. Yes, it is live action. Yes, there's real people and all that stuff. So maybe that makes it more approachable than an animated series or an animated movie. But I really feel like Transformers 1 just nailed it. And while I do really love Bumblebee, again, Bumblebee was basically, well, let's say the first 4 or 5 minutes of that movie was purely fan service for the fans. Let's just face it, that was fan service for all the longtime fans. And then the rest of the movie was basically what the 2007 movie should have been. If I could go back and recut the 2007 movie, I would take out all the hacker stuff. I would take out little bits here and there, and I would just tighten up and clean up the movie, and it would basically just be the Bumblebee movie. And I feel like the Bumblebee movie was the best live action movie we've had so far, and that still stands. But as far as overall Transformers movies go, I think Transformers 1 really nails it. The story was great. Not only did it pull from Transformers lore that would make any longtime fan happy, it was also super approachable for brand new fans. And I feel like it was a complete story. And I'm not going to spoil any of it for you, even though if you are at all familiar with Transformers, if you've watched, Transformers Prime, if you've read the comic books, if you've seen the trailers even, you probably know exactly where this movie is going. And for the most part, you'd be right. I feel like that might be considered a little bit of a spoiler, but let's be honest. If you can predict a little bit of what's going to happen, the broad brushstrokes are there. It's the journey along the way and the characters that make this movie. I know some people might be upset that they didn't bring back the old voice cast. They didn't bring back Peter Cullen and Frank Welker. They didn't bring in Frank Todaro. They used all celebrity voice cast. And to be honest, I think they made the right call. You've got to remember that this is a young Optimus Prime. This is a young Megatron. It's much like how people were upset when Gary Chalk and David Kay voiced Optimus Primal and Megatron in Beast Wars. It was just too new for some fans, but I just believe it works here. Chris Hemsworth, Thor, he did an amazing job as Orion Pax / Optimus Prime. Scarlett Johansson was amazing as Elita-1. I love her so much. I am just a little upset that she wasn't called Ariel at any point in the movie, which I get why they probably didn't do that. There is a certain mermaid that, is owned by a big company that might be a little upset, and not to mention, trying to sell toys with the name Ariel on it. I can see why they didn't go that route and they just stuck with Elita-1. But yeah, she was amazing. I loved Elita in this movie. She was fantastic. Brian Tree Henry was also awesome as Megatron / D-16, or is it D-12? Megatron. He was awesome as Megatron, and you can so not really a spoiler, a little bit of a spoiler. You can so hear the evolution of the voices of Optimus / Orion and D-16 and Megatron. It's D-16 because I was just looking up the cast list so I can remember the name. I saw the name underneath. But you can hear the evolution of, their younger personas now kind of evolving to not quite what we know from like the cartoons and everything, but they're like on the precipice of. And it's like you feel the change in the character. They, for, lack of a better word, but also to do the pun, they transform throughout the movie. They transform and their voices transform with them. And it is awesome. It is just great how they managed to do that. Steve Buscemi as Starscream, I felt was okay. I have some more thoughts on him, but I think it's going to have to wait until the spoiler review. But yes, I definitely have thoughts on his Starscream, specifically the voice. If you've seen the movie, maybe you know what I'm talking about. John Hamm as Sentinel Prime. I mean, like, not only is that perfect casting, but his performance was just perfect. He's Sentinel Prime. If you know Sentinel Prime, oh my God, he was so perfect. I cannot say more. Same for Lawrence Fishburne as Albatron. He was great. Keegan-Michael Key, he killed it as Bumblebee. Oh my goodness. He was definitely Keegan-Michael Keying it. If you've seen Toy Story 4, it's very much that same kind of energy. I did feel, it reminded me a little bit of G1 Bumblebee, a little bit, but I like what he did with the character. And I really wish I could remember who the user was that I saw this, but I remember on Instagram, I believe, someone's video saying how Transformers 1 Bumblebee is such a tragic character because that Bumblebee just loves the talk. He loves to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And of course, there is the trailer where you see at one point Bumblebee has his mouth shut because even when he was unconscious, he was still talking. He just wouldn't shut up. And then to think that in the Transformers movies, Bumblebee is just mute and his voice has been taken away from him and he can no longer talk, his favorite thing in the world. And like, honestly, I started tearing up a little bit. It's like, oh, that's so sad. But then I realized, please don't make this part of, the live action movie continuity.
If you look at it from a timeline point of view, it follows Bumblebee. So, but it is a prequel in that it's before all the previous movies. So it sort of exists in its own way. What I don't think it is a reboot.
Like, please, Lorenzo, please, no. This is its own continuity. Let's not shoehorn this into the Michael Bay universe. I know they did that with the Bumblebee movie, and I was just like, why? You had a chance for a fresh start, and you blew it. But yeah, I really hope they don't try and sell this as, like a prequel, because technically we've already had 2 prequel movies if you consider Bumblebee and Rise of the Beast as prequels to the 2007 movie, which still make no sense from any point of view how that would all work. But yeah, I really wish or hope that they don't try to connect the dots here. This is its own thing. Let's just have Transformers 1, then we have Transformers 2, Transformers 3, Transformers 4. Let the animated Transformers movie be their own continuity. Please, for the love of Primus, Paramount, let them be their own thing. I am so sick and tired of them trying to connect them all. Just no. Okay? No. But yes, what else can I say about Transformers 1? It was awesome. The animation was amazing. I seriously cannot wait for this movie to be on physical media so I can just frame by frame the entire movie and just pick out all the little Easter eggs, all the characters in the background. Speaking of which, I don't know if anybody who worked on this movie is also a follower, a subscriber of mine, But I don't know, maybe you guys tell me if you've seen the movie or if you plan to see the movie, but I feel like there was a character in the background that looked an awful lot like my OC. Maybe there is a fan out there and they kind of like put me in the movie there. Because I swear, this character had the same head design as me. So, who knows? Maybe I'm in Transformers 1. I know they certainly didn't ask me to voice the character. I don't think she even has any lines. I could be wrong. But she was like a blink and you'll miss it character. But I swear there was a character with like my same like head design. And she was red. And like, yes, I don't know. Maybe it's just me wishful thinking. But, you know, let me know. Paramount, Hasbro, I will gladly voice my own OC in Transformers 2. Let's do it. You know, have your people call my people. So yeah, I can't really say anything else about Transformers 1 that is not a spoiler. You'll just have to wait for my full spoiler review later on, probably sometime later this weekend. But yeah, that's Transformers 1. Go see it. If you have the chance to go see it early, go see it early. If you have to wait. It is definitely worth it. I will definitely be seeing it again at least once, maybe 2 more times. I don't know. It is so good. It is so good. I cannot speak more highly of it without giving away spoilers. So, with that, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and do all that other fun stuff. And I'll see you again very soon for my spoiler review. Again, probably this weekend, maybe a little later. Okay, bye.